thank you everybody for joining us this afternoon, or at least it's this afternoon here in the UK, but maybe good morning or good evening wherever you are currently. I'm Jodie Williamson, Professional Development and Membership Manager here at the IAM. Looks like there's some very familiar names on that list. I'm sure lots of you already know me. It's my pleasure to be hosting this webinar today, in particular because it's the first of our bursary webinars, and we launched the bursary last year. So these are the first winners of the bursary ever. So it's really great to see how that's gone, and we'll have a really great session this afternoon to find out how Sanyu in particular for this one, and if you're joining us next week, you'll also see how IAM have been spending their bursary funds and how they've been using that for professional development. So without further ado, I will hand over to Sanyu Kaganzi, who is going to take you through her experiences. If you can please use the Q&A function for any questions, we'll take those at the end of the session. There is an option, or there should be an option, to vote up your favourite questions as well as when they come through. So if somebody's asked the question you already wanted, please do vote it, because we'll work on the most popular questions first, in case we don't get through them all. So it's now time to hand over to Sanyu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jodie. You're all very welcome to this webinar. Thank you for taking time to just be part of this discussion, and we'll be talking about, I'll be talking about workforce development in physical asset management, and the focus is the relevance of the IAM Edwards Bursary to the promotion of the asset management discipline. In my presentation, I'm going to talk, I'll introduce myself, and then I'll talk about our asset management journey, and then I'll talk about workforce development, then the relevance of financial support when it comes to workforce development, and I'll briefly talk about the IAM Edwards Bursary and how I've benefited from it, and then we'll conclude. Just to introduce myself, like Jodie said already, I am Sanyu. I'm Sanyu Kaganzi, and I am from Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. I'm an electrical engineer by profession, but also I'm an asset management consultant, and I have a certificate in the IAM. I have a qualification, the IAM certificate. And I'm currently working with Asset Business Solutions as the Chief Executive Officer, but I'm also one of the directors of Asset Business Solutions. At Asset Business Solutions, I lead a team of passionate, qualified asset managers, and we've been doing this for the last 13 years. I'm also a member. When it comes to membership, I'm a member of the Institute of Asset Management, and I've had a number of opportunities and as a member of the institute, and I will just share some of those opportunities that I've had with the institute, as the privileges that come with being a member of the institute. And some of the opportunities I've had, I had an opportunity to present at the IAM annual conference in 2020 and in 2021, and the focus was for the presentation in 2020. It was a case for asset management in response to climate change, and the other was talking about climate change response strategies in the East African region. But I've also had an opportunity to write articles that are featured in the Asset Management magazine. But also I've been able to volunteer. I've had opportunities to volunteer on the IAM Climate Emergency Program committee, but also I've had an opportunity. Currently, I'm part of the IAM Continuous Professional Development project. Yeah, so that is basically me, and the opportunities I've had with the IAM. So I'll just go ahead and talk about our asset management journey. I thought I'll just share where we have come from and then and where we are at. So I'll start by sharing my asset management journey. When did it start? It started in 2009, and so it was really a journey of trying to pursue asset management, and it started with an accountant who was in charge of taking care of fixed assets in their organization. And that accountant happened to be my husband. So as he was searching to find a better way to manage physical assets, he landed on an organization in Australia that had an asset management tool that would help organizations manage asset management. So of course, he engaged them and tried to find out more, and was really looking for a solution on how he could be able to deliver at his workplace. And as he continued to engage them, what started as looking for a tool ended up becoming a partnership. So he engaged the owner of the company, and so we started. That's how we started to promote asset management. But at that time, we were promoting the tool. So it was about, as you can see in the picture. I thought I would share that picture because it just shows some of the things we were doing at the time. And so we started to sell the product, but even as we started to sell the product, we wanted to promote the industry, but we were very unaware that it wasn't something easy to sell. So, but as we did that, we looked at we started to promote the industry, and we would go to organizations and try to do unique needs assessments. We tried organizing seminars. We tried to participate in expos to just try and put out this, to try and talk about asset management. We also went into boardrooms and would engage the different people, but then also would write newsletters. But at that time, like I mentioned, we focused on selling a tool that manages asset management, but also we are selling it to an audience that was not aware that they had a problem. But then also many of the organizations at that time had a way of managing their assets. So it was quite a challenge, but that's my journey. That's how I got into the asset management space. And so what is the asset business solutions story, asset management story? I thought I would share that as well. So when did we start? We started in 2011. So a number of us who were passionate about asset management, given what we had been doing before, and we wanted to see how we can engage organizations and see how we can impact them. And so we started an organization, which is Asset Business Solutions, and in 2011. And really the driving force was to address the significant gap that we had observed in Uganda, but also in Africa, in the physical asset management space. But then also our focus was really to try and help organizations to unleash the potential of their assets through so we wanted them to unleash the potential of their assets to be able to so the whole goal was that organizations would have optimal return on investment because of the organization's performance, and then at the end of the day, it would lead to long-term sustainability. And so as we went along, we also discovered the Institute of Asset Management. And of course, that was an opportunity for us to learn more about asset management. We then went ahead to do the certificate, to gain more knowledge and be able to pass on this knowledge to organizations. And then we also went ahead to organize some trainings to create awareness about asset management. But also we went ahead, as we've walked the journey, we've gone ahead to try and develop and provide dynamic and innovative tools that can help organizations manage their assets better. But one key thing, when we discovered the Institute of Asset Management, is that we realized that actually asset management is a discipline. So I'll just go to my next slide. So what are some of the observations we've had as we have walked this journey? So what the first observation is the fact that asset management is a discipline. So like I mentioned before, we started by selling a tool to manage the assets, and as opposed to the discipline, as opposed to talking about the fact that asset management is a discipline. And many organizations were not ready to buy the tool. They already had things that were working for them. They had solutions that were working for them to manage their assets. So basically, the concept of asset management was so new to many, especially in our country, Uganda. And so whereas they were adopting the technology and trying to understand this asset management, to try and understand asset management, we realized that we realized that many organizations did not fully understand what the discipline of asset management was about. So many organizations did not understand the fact that using technology was just a small part of the big picture. Yeah. So as we went along learning and studying the trends in asset management, we realized that it's very important to be aware of what it is. So that's the other observation. We realized that asset management awareness is very critical. And so that's how we started to try and organize trainings to ensure that people are aware of what this discipline is all about. So I'll now talk about workforce development and why it is very important for us to invest in training. So physical asset management is really a young industry in Uganda and Africa at large, and so that means that the number of professionals in this field are very few, and because the discipline of asset management is a very critical component to any organization, the only way we can promote it is by creating awareness and passing on knowledge. And one of the ways we can do that is through training. So, and when we invest in training, we can increase the number of professionals who can apply the knowledge in the different sectors, both government and private sector, but also they're able to pass on this knowledge. So as the professionals get the knowledge, they're also able to pass on the knowledge to others. And so it is very important for us to invest in training to be able to create awareness, but also pass on knowledge. But also as we do that, then we're increasing the pool of professionals who can apply the knowledge in their organizations, but they're also able to pass on the knowledge. But to be able to benefit from asset management, we need to, like I've mentioned, training is very important. But for us to be able to train, you would need resources. You need money to be able to educate people and train them. And the truth is, you cannot allocate money or resources into something that you do not understand. So only people who are able to understand the importance of asset management will be able to invest in educating and training. So what can I say about the relevance of financial support? So one of the so like I mentioned before, you need resources to be able to invest in educating people and training. And so one of the things we have realized is that when there is financial support, this is a lot more easier. So, and that's how the IAM Edwards Bursary comes in. And I'll just share what the bursary is about briefly, so you can still find this information on the website. So the Edwards Bursary is it's a financial, it's merit-based financial assistance. It's a financial assistance program that provides up to about $2,600 or £2,000 in support of asset management enthusiasts, people passionate about asset management and they want to pursue learning experience. They want to learn more about asset management. And so through this bursary, the Institute of Asset Management seeks to encourage continuous learning and enhance professional competence. And so it's an importance for the members of the Institute to enhance their expertise, but also to be able to contribute to the advancement of the asset management field. I'll just share briefly how you apply for the bursary. First of all, you've got to be a member. You've got to be a member of the institute for you to be able to qualify to apply for the bursary. But then also you've got to demonstrate a genuine passion for asset management and a strong commitment to continuous learning. But then also you've got to submit an application and explain how you're going to use the funds. And so there's an opportunity for anyone who would be interested. I'll then just talk about how I have benefited from the bursary. So I applied for the bursary last year, and I was successful, which was such a great opportunity, I must say. And the bursary has given me an opportunity to enhance my knowledge. And one of the things I focused on was I did a course in ISO 55000 lead implementer. And the reason why I chose that course is that it gives me an opportunity to be able to acquire knowledge and skills that help me, that would enable me help organizations establish, implement, and manage asset management systems, but according to ISO 55001 standard. So that's why I chose that. I chose that particular course, because then it gives you an opportunity to get into an organization and work with a team that's helping the organization to set up an asset management system. But also with and for that particular course, I completed it successfully. And so I would be moving on to finding a place where I can actually apply the knowledge. But also with the bursary, and which is really a great opportunity, there is another opportunity for me to do the IAM diploma, and I'll be starting that in December. But also the IAM diploma gives me an opportunity to gain knowledge, but apply the knowledge, the asset management knowledge, to organization situations. So that that's another opportunity I have to learn more and be able to apply the knowledge. And so with the ISO 55,001 certificate, I'll be looking for some opportunities where I can work with organizations who want to set up asset management systems and work the asset management journey. But also it gives me a lot of still it gives me knowledge and skill. Right, currently in Uganda, we are trying to set up a chapter. And so with all this knowledge, it also gives me an opportunity to be able to fully participate in that initiative of starting the IAM chapter. So how do I conclude? So the observation is that the only way we can effectively promote the discipline of asset management in Uganda and Africa at large, but also be able to enjoy the benefits through investment in creating awareness through training. So you come to realize that awareness is very key. You cannot pursue something you don't understand. You cannot be able to implement something you don't understand. So creating awareness is very important. And so that's why training is very important. But also the initiatives like the IAM Bursary are critical investments in this effort. And hopefully governments and the private sector can come on board. And it's just so amazing how there are certain investments you might not be able to make, but with opportunities like the Edwards Bursary, you're able to gain knowledge, you're able to learn more about asset management. And so for me, it's really been a privilege being able to use the funds from the Edwards Bursary to increase my knowledge and learning. And I would like to really thank the IAM Edwards Bursary team, Jody and your team. We're truly grateful. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity, and I believe that I'll use this opportunity to share more about asset management, to be able to train others, to be able to bring on board young professionals to be able to enhance the discipline of asset management in our country, but also in Africa. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll just give it a moment. We have got one question in, but if you've got any other questions, please do pop those in the Q&A section and we can get through to those. I'd like to just, while we're on this opportunity, say thank you also to the judges that judged all of the applications for the Edwards Bursary. It's no small effort to go through all the business cases that we had, but I'm sure if they were on this call now, they would all agree that it was a really uplifting session going through them all and discussing all the passion that's out there, because it was really, from my perspective, it was a great opportunity to look at all the things that people are keen to do in the asset management space and explore what's going on and what people are interested in. So thank you very much as well for giving us that opportunity. It was great to have those applications in. I will also take the opportunity right now. We are open and accepting applications. The applications are open until the 28th of February 2025, and at that point we'll be reviewing all the applications and deciding who gets the next round of funding based on the applications that we have. So if you are interested, please do think about getting your application in. If you've got any questions about the process or about how you can benefit from bursary, then please do let me know. As Sanya's already said, you do need to be a member of the Institute, so that's a paying member, and that's one of the criteria that's absolutely essential at either the student or associate level, but also you need to lay out exactly what it is you want to spend the money on and give us a detailed business plan there of how that's going to be spent, because it is really important. So we've got two questions come in. I'll start with the one that came in first, which is the bursary open to all nations, nationals or regions? Do you want me to take that one, seeing as it's a little bit more?
Yes,
Yes, Quite frankly, yes. Literally, the only criteria is that you must be a member. You must be able to demonstrate your passion and how you're going to spend the money, and it must be a compelling application. It's probably worth saying now, if you just want to spend it on just a certificate or bursary or diploma course, they're not likely to get there because we're looking for things that are a little bit different. The course that Sanyu mentioned earlier was one that our judges had never come across before. So that was something that really was appealing to them, and that was one of the reasons why they chose to spend that money. And if you come and listen to the next bursary next week, you'll see as well how varied Amon's submission was, and kind of where he wanted to spend all his money on that one. So you really do have to have something a little bit different in your application. So I'd encourage you to look far and wide, look at all sorts of different learning opportunities, because they're the things that are going to get you noticed and to get you successful with your application. So hopefully that's answered that question. And then the next one I've got is, how long is the training? So I'm guessing this is your ISO training that you did. So I'll leave you answer that one.
Okay, so for the ISO 55000 lead implementer course is it's a short course. It's a 1 week course, but then you have to do an exam to be able to qualify still, and it has quite a number of criteria. So once you've done the course and then you do the exam, you must pass the exam to then you become a provisional implementer, and then you've got to find a place to apply knowledge. So it has levels. You don't become a lead implementer immediately. Yeah. So, but basically it's a 1 week course. Then you prepare for the exam. Maybe it takes about a month. That's what they advise to take. You take a month to prepare for the exam, and then and then you can go ahead. Once you pass the exam, you go ahead and look for an opportunity to apply the knowledge.
Excellent, thank you.
I hope that answers the question.
Have we got any further questions at the moment? That's all that we've had come in. By all means, there was a very nice comment as well in the chat. I don't know if you've managed to see that, so I'll read that out. It's from Dinah, who says, I'm also a Ugandan and I'm working towards my IAM certification. I'm so inspired by Sanyu having made it as well. So congratulations. It's great to see that you're inspiring others, which is really what we want to achieve with the bursary. So that's great. Give it another minute in case we get any other questions in.
Should I stop sharing?
You can do, yes. Yeah. It doesn't look as if we've got anything else coming in at the moment. We've got just another thank you for an excellent presentation there as well. So thank you all for attending this afternoon, or like I said, this morning or this evening, depending on where you are. Hopefully we'll see some applications come in for the bursary from you if you've been inspired by this. Please do look around for opportunities, and like I said, applications close on the 28th of February. All that remains for me is to say thank you very much to Sanyu for your time this afternoon and for a really interesting presentation, and hopefully we'll see you at another one soon. Thank you all.